to open this ceremony recognizing our distinguished alumni for the second year. But before I turn it over to Mr. Menges, who will make some opening remarks, I wish to share with you very short thoughts. They come in the words of Shakespeare. He said, "There is a tide in the affairs of men and women, which taken at the flood leads to fortune. Omitted, all voyages of their life is bound in shallows and miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the currents when it serves, or lose our ventures. I say, if life is a journey, I ask you that you pause and listen to the message that our recipients bring to you this morning. For their message will bring with it hope, light, and knowledge, which will replenish you with energy, enthusiasm, and insight, and the insight needed to make the best of opportunities that present themselves to us on our journey. And the words they shared with you will also give you the strength, courage, and perseverance to face all of the difficult times or moments that you will face during your life." I turn it over to Mr. Menges, who will open up the ceremony, and thank you.
Good morning. Dr. Pike, Mr. Lopez, Mr. Hawksworth, Ms. Hammond, distinguished guests, students and staff, it is my pleasure this morning to represent Dr. Shkletsky, superintendent of our school district. He is at a conference today and is not able to attend. He shared with me before he left that this is one of the events in a school year that he had hoped he would be able to attend. As we take this opportunity to listen carefully to the lives of the distinguished alumni on our stage, each of us can take from their lives and build on our own. These are individuals who did not only select a career and achieve in that career, they are individuals who I think many of you know, many of your family members know, because they have given back to this community. And communities only survive as long as the members of that community give back and contribute and believe. And the people seated on stage are individuals who have done that. And for that, we want to recognize them today. It is not easy where you're seated today to look ahead and think, how will I contribute? What role will I play in my community? So I ask you again to please listen today to the recounting of the achievements of the individuals who we will honor. And with that, I will at this time turn the podium over to Mr. Hawksworth, who will MC our program today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menges. Good morning, students and distinguished guests. Thank you. At this time, I would like to recognize some important people who are with us this morning. Nancy Schuler, the student board representative and editor of the Vedette, McCaskey Vedette. Nancy. Latoya Powell, the student council president. And Dr. Carl Pike, the school board president. You notice Dr. Pike's tie? Yeah, as he said, it's the closest thing we could get to McCaskey colors. Danielle Brown, Senior Class President. Dottie Hammond, President of the McCaskey Alumni Association. And members of the school board, let me move this out here. Members of the Board of School Director, yes, past recipient, also is with this alumni recipient, Ethel Hilliard, class of 29. She's here with her daughter, Gail. Ethel, nice to have you back. Jerry Letts joins us this morning. Jerry, class of 1931. And member of our awards committee is with us this morning, Jerry Letts, class of 1943. An old friend of McCaskey, Charlie Lowen, is with us this morning. And Mr. Bob Sheffy, president of the Lancaster Foundation for Educational Enrichment. I must tell you, it is a distinct pleasure for me to come home to McCaskey. I have fond memories of my 3 years here at J.P. McCaskey High School. I came here from Edward Hand Junior High School. I moved Edward Hand from next door from George Washington. So I am a product of the Lancaster City school system, and I am proud of it. I must tell you with all sincerity, I am where I am today because of this place, McCaskey High School. And I mean that. McCaskey gave me the foundation to build upon. I had some wonderful teachers here, in particular an English teacher by the name of Clifford D. Hartman, who constantly told me, "You can do it." And I did it. So don't listen to those who tell you you can't do it. Listen to the ones who tell you you can do it, because you can do it, believe me. This place will give you what you need to go out there and start a career, whatever it is that you decide to do in life. And don't forget, wherever you go, whatever your successes, you will always be a member of the McCaskey family. Time now to honor some of our members of our McCaskey family with our Distinguished Alumni Award. And I don't know if you know about some of the people who went to this fine institution of learning, but did you know that a McCaskey graduate went on to become an Academy Award-winning film producer? Franklin J. Schaffner directed Patton, the movie Patton. Planet of the Apes. A McCaskey graduate, huh? Not too bad. The McCaskey graduate went on to write music. Bobby Troup, Route 66. And we all know of the feats of the late Barney Ewing, a McCaskey graduate. Fine people. Some fine people are members of the McCaskey family. At this time, we want to honor the Honorable Anthony Appel. Judge Appel graduated from Boys High, class of 1931. Graduated from Franklin and Marshall College, class of 1935. He received his law degree from Dickinson School in 1938. He is the third member of his family to receive, or to rather serve as president of Franklin and Marshall, and the third member to serve as a Lancaster County judge. Judge Appel practiced law with his father and later his brother before his 10 years as judge, senior judge, and president judge from 1970 until 1993. His legal career was interrupted by service as captain with the United States Military Intelligence during World War II in 1943 to 1946, and he has served the community well in various capacities as president of the Board of Trustees of the Lancaster Theological Seminary, the Lancaster Rotary Club, director of the Pennsylvania United Fund, served as the advisory committee to the Secretary of Welfare of Pennsylvania, and the list goes on and on and on. This is one reason, well, many reasons why we have decided to honor the Honorable Anthony Appel as one of McCaskey's distinguished alumni. And now we begin.
Good morning. Thank you very much for this award. I am very honored to be recognized for the career which I have had in Lancaster. You heard that I am not a McCaskey person. I'm from Boys High. At that time, the school board felt that boys and girls should not go to school together in high school. So I didn't know much about girls. Amoa Sama, Amana Samana Sama. Utor Fluor, Fungor, Podior, and Westor, take you Abilene. If I recall it correctly, the square of the sides of the right triangle added equal the hypotenuse squared. The Pythagorean square. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind. Is this a sword I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. Well, I've gone into this to show you that we do remember things for 65 years. Come June 22nd, we'll have our 65th reunion. But what I've told you is basic to education. And I was wondering for some time what I would say was the most important thing I learned at the Lancaster Boys High School. Yesterday, my wife, Betty, and I were driving home from Carlisle. I said, "What did you get from your school in 3 years?" She said, "I learned that the important thing in life is teamwork and cooperation." The more I thought about that, I realized that's what I learned in high school, teamwork and cooperation. I learned it when I was a sophomore, when as a homeroom game night, we entered the intramural basketball tournament. And lo and behold, we got to the finals. Always before that, a senior team had won. And everybody assumed that we would lose. Well, we won. The reason we won was teamwork and cooperation. The vedette, I was on the staff, and that was put together by teamwork and cooperation. Later, as president judge, I had a staff. We each worked hard, we each did our job, and we got things accomplished in the courts of Lancaster County by teamwork and cooperation. Betty and I will celebrate our 56th wedding anniversary June 15th. That, ladies and gentlemen, is teamwork and cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's a bulb in there. I know it works somehow. No switch. All right. We need someone from the electric shop. That's what we need. That's right, they have Votech now. Okay. Our next distinguished alumni recipient, I'm sure it's a familiar face to many of you, Nelson Polite Sr. Nelson was elected to the Lancaster City Council in 1995. He graduated from McCaskey in 1941 and later attended Lancaster Business College and Franklin and Marshall College. And from 1943 to 1946, he served in the United States Army and as a former Boy Scout master and director of the Conestoga Elks Drum and Bugle Corps. A recipient of the Lancaster City Red Rose Award and the Urban League Humanitarian Award. He retired in 1988 as marketing branch chief from the United States Federal Services. And Nelson's list of community service is a long one. It includes vice president of the NAACP, president of the Crispus Attucks Board, secretary of the Southeast Sertoma, treasurer of the Demonstrate Against Drug Dealers or DADS, vice president of Bethel AME Church Board of Trustees, and on and on and on. A distinguished gentleman, and one whom I've had the pleasure of knowing for a number of years. I give you one of our distinguished alumni, Mr. Nelson Polite Sr.
The judge said the spirit of cooperation does pay off, and I'm here to attest that also. My wife Jean and I have 46 years just the other day. I guess we ought to give her an award because she put up with me all those years. I feel extremely honored and very humble to have been selected to join a group of former and current recipients of this most prestigious, distinguished alumni award, awarded to 5 outstanding former graduates of J.P. McCaskey High School and the Boys High and others. With the support of a strong, God-fearing family, my church family, the community, dedicated and concerned administrators and teachers, please treat them well because they'll treat you well in the beginning. McCaskey prepared and inspired me to set high standards and goals for myself and to achieve successes in life rather than wasting my time doing frivolous or trifling things. Even though I had to work part-time as a student, I was encouraged by teachers to get involved in extracurricular activities, such as playing the trumpet, I can still play, in the McCaskey band, marching band, playing varsity soccer, soccer band, running track. Track out there? And being a part of the school plays, and the list goes on. After an honorable discharge from the U.S. Army and service in World War II, the Big War, the sense of getting involved and giving back to the community in order to help younger persons enrich their lives began to involve through such activities as being a Boy Scout master. Very simple. but it helped an awful lot of kids. Organizing and directing a drum and bugle corps in the southeast area of the city. Even today, those young people come up to me and thank me for the job that we did to enhance their lives. These and other activities became a way of life for me, so much that I constantly felt a responsibility to get involved in building a community and making it better for all people. I would urge all of you to seek out your niche in life, find time and give back some of the talents that have been enhanced through a J.P. McCaskey educational experience. Feel proud of your school, all right? Feel proud of your school. Hold it up with a tap. Try to encourage and give a helping hand to someone less fortunate than yourself. 55 years ago, who would have dreamed that a McCaskey graduate would be a part of the process, that of being chairman of the Lancaster City Planning Commission and having final approval and signature of prints and plans for the new McCaskey East building for the 9th and 10th grade students. My signature will be on those plans. The building is up, and you next year will be a part of that building. Also, and being elected to the Lancaster City Council, having the power to control many facets of our lives, believe me, I've learned. In closing, I wish to thank the person or persons who placed my name in nomination, and to thank the Alumni Steering Committee for their selection. I pledge to continue to uphold the proud name of McCaskey as often as I often do whenever I have the opportunity to support any program or plans which will benefit the school and its students. Now, if I didn't make this statement in a bragging manner, some persons would be really upset and surprised. Me, along with 542 other graduate classmates, have the distinction of being the first class to spend the first 3 full years in McCaskey. We are the ones who come in here and have 3 full years in this building and then graduated. Give me a hand. Again, thank all of you, and I encourage all of you, especially the students, to do the very best you can and graduate and strive to go on to some type of higher education. You must have it today. In closing, again, include God in your life. He will help you to succeed. Be honest, peaceful to your teachers, and sincere, and God will bless you real good. Thank you.
Thank you, Nelson. Make sure you get the right one. Earlier when I was introducing our distinguished guest, I left out one person. And I don't know how I did that, Jack. My apologies to you, sir. Also with us this morning is the distinguished educator and historian, Jack W. Luce, a McCaskey graduate, and also 1995 Distinguished Alumni recipient. Jack? If you want to know anything about the history of Lancaster County, talk with Jack Luce or Jerry Letts. I'll tell you, those two have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the area in which we live. It is a distinct pleasure to present our next recipient, a charming and delightful woman, Barbara Karpouzis Valavanes. Barbara, you know her? Barbara came to Lancaster from Greece in 1933, and she graduated from McCaskey in 1945. She earned her bachelor's degree from Elizabethtown College and her teacher certification at Franklin and Marshall College, and she returned to McCaskey as an English and as a second language teacher, retiring after 22 years of service. She has been active in her church, and she is a founder and charter member of the local chapter of the Greek Orthodox Youth of America. She's been honored for her work at Christmas Attic. She has received the Woman of the Year Award from the Quota Club. She has received the Seal of Lancaster from former Mayor Art Morris, also a McCaskey graduate. Also a member of the track team, Nelson. Art went on to do great things at Penn State, too. Mayor Morris presented Barbara that award for her outstanding work with students. She has received the Human Relations Award from the National Council of Christians and Jews and the U.S. Congressional Certificate of Merit for services to her community and her country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Barbara Karpouzis Valavanes.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a good morning. Rain. My grandson Michael, when he hears people complain about rain, he says, no rain, no flowers. So today I say to you, no rain, no flowers. It is indeed a pleasure. I am so delighted to be once again on this McCaskey stage. To be in this illustrious company is a great honor. I can't help but think of the volunteers who call themselves the Alumni Association. And right here sit some of them. And I need to speak to just two because I don't know all of them. Speaking of volunteerism, Susan Garafola, even though she is not an alumnus of this high school, works harder than any volunteer I know. And Mr. Lowen, not an alumnus of this high school, also cares and does more for this school than anyone I know. Those two people, I want a big hand for. My 3 years at McCaskey were the years of World War II. They were not good years. They made you grow up in a hurry. We were adults while still teens. We were a very closely knit group for obvious reasons. Many of our boys were fighting some of the greatest battles of that war, both in Europe and in the Pacific. And we were grateful, and we were doing our very best back home to support them. You folks today are studying about that war. We lived through it. McCaskey meant a lot to me then, and it means a lot to me now. I proudly wear my McCaskey ring rather than my college rings. McCaskey prepared me for life much of which was unexpected. But McCaskey was there for me through thick and thin. My parents, God-fearing people, taught me the basics, which never change. McCaskey built on that and taught me the cooperation that was spoken of, brotherhood, and the respect for all peoples. I carried that message throughout my life. It was McCaskey's diverse curriculum that enabled a poor girl like me to get her high school diploma. Things at home were very tough financially. My father had died, my brothers were in the service, my mother was ill, could not work, and refused to be on welfare. So somebody had to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, and put food on the table. When my mother told me that I could not return to McCaskey for my senior year because I had to go to work, I cried. I cried. I loved school, and I wanted my diploma so badly. But she said, how else can we do it? Well, I found a way. McCaskey gave me a way. At that time, it was called distributive education. I don't know what it's called now. But you worked a half a day, and you went to school a half a day. And so I chose that way. I knew I had no money to go to college. In those days, there were no scholarships, FAIA, and all kinds of assistantships. If you didn't have the money, you didn't go to college. And I had no hopes at that time to go to college. But that did not stop me from going many, many years later. After the half day of work and half day of school, I went to another 8-hour shift to work. Across from the police station, what is the police station today? There's a garage. On that corner, Dr. Appel, you remember, it was the candy corner, spelled with a K. And there I worked for 8 hours. Walked home after midnight, did my homework, got up early in the morning, and walked to McCaskey every morning. There were no bus tickets or tokens then, boys and girls. You walked. Buddy still does, but it's not out of necessity. Excuse me. McCaskey's English classes helped me with my public speaking. And I do a lot of public speaking, especially after retirement. I started at 16, public speaking. But after retirement, it grew and grew. And I speak to groups large and small on my Greek Orthodox faith, on the Greek life and customs, on specific topics that are requested, and mainly, the last few years, on my travels. My general economics classes taught me how to budget time and money, which I didn't have then. And I remember a quote by Benjamin Franklin saying, "Do not waste time, for time is what life is made of." And believe me, I don't. Many times when I'm going in 20 different directions, doing 20 different things, my dear daughter Nancy, who is in the audience today, many of you know her as Miss Val from King School and Carter McRae. Nancy, would you stand up? I know many of her students are right here today, and that's why. She'll say, Mom, relax, sit down, enjoy your television. That's not me. I'm wasting time. And time is what life is made of. I don't have too many years to go, so I'm going to make every minute count. By now, many of you are wondering, why is she wearing this Asian costume or this Asian outfit on a McCaskey stage? Well, I'll tell you what. Number one, it's bright enough to wake me up because a retired teacher throws her alarm clock away when she retires. Getting up at 6:30 this morning was the middle of the night. But you were worth it, so I came out. The second reason is it has black and red on it, and that's by McCaskey. And the third reason is to remind me to tell you about my social studies teachers. So dedicated. Every one of my teachers were so dedicated. They instilled such a wonderful lust and yearning about the countries that we were studying. They wanted me to want to go to those exotic places, to those faraway places that I thought would only be a dream. As I sat here studying about those places, never did I think that a poor girl like me would travel the world. And I have almost all of it. The Persian Gulf War stopped me from making the rest of the round. Hopefully God will give me the strength to finish it. I have been, believe it or not, on every continent in this world except Antarctica. And after 1996 blizzard, would you want to go? Oh, I don't either. I don't either. In closing, I want to say to each one of you, your dreams of today do not have to remain dreams. I thought mine were just dreams, but they became a reality. Your teachers, and I know they're dedicated, your teachers are here to give you that start, that springboard. What you do is up to you. That's right. You can make your dreams of a great career, a happy, meaningful, and productive life by doing your very best each and every day as you sit in that desk and setting high standards for yourself. I am proud of McCaskey. Are you? I thank my dedicated teachers. I thank my colleagues of 22 years here under Mr. Lowen and Mr. Seifert, who helped me do things I wouldn't otherwise be able to do with my students. And the Alumni Association, I thank very much. And above all, I thank you for being such a great audience. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Barbara. James Argires, a partner in Lancaster Neurosurgical Associates, is a 1949 graduate of McCaskey High School. He's a 1962 graduate of the University of Alabama Medical School, and he took time out from his studies to serve in the United States Marine Corps during the Korean conflict. A son of Greek immigrants, James has held residence at the residencies at the University of Tennessee, the University of Alabama, and has been associated locally with Lancaster General, St. Joseph, Columbia, Brandywine, and Ephrata community hospitals. And at Lancaster General, he has held academic posts in the School of Nursing and in the Family Practice Residency Program, and at Hershey Medical Center as Clinical Assistant Professor of Neurosurgery. And many, many honors in the community and much service to our community. More importantly, though, at this moment, he is a graduate of McCaskey High School and one of our distinguished alumni. Dr. Argires.
Oh, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. Well, Nelson and Judge, I'm not quite in your category. I'll be entering the 42nd year of my marriage very shortly. And speak about adversity, my wife has had that living with me for those 41 years. We've been asked to make a few comments about what McCaskey has done for all of us, and I might tell you that this institution and its educators did the following for me. They gave me fun years, formative years, and they also taught me two things. One is focus, and the other was attitude. And one needs to have a focus in life. First of all, you need to focus on yourself. You need to know who you are, what you want to be, and how to get there. After all, the best friend and the worst enemy you will ever have in life is the guy you look at in the mirror every morning when you are shaving, brushing your hair, putting your makeup on, getting your shirt and tie on, or whatever. But that's the person that you have to focus on and learn to live with that individual. I can recall when I was a jock here, and a jock throughout all my school years, John Reynolds here, Westchester State Teachers College. I decided after being a phys ed teacher and a physical therapist that I'd move on to still another dimension of life and to become a physician, so I applied to medical school at the University of Alabama, where my wife and I were residing at that time. She's a resident of Birmingham, Alabama. And so there I walked into the registrar's office and told this lady that I wanted to apply to medical school. And so she asked me to gather up my transcripts and the likes, and so I did that. And about 2 months passed by, and I came back to see how my application was progressing. And she looked me in the eye, and she had this big smile on her face, and she said, "Now, young man, what makes you think that you can get into medical school? You have grades such as this: health A, phys ed A, gymnastics A, and then the rest of them are C's and D's." So then she looks at me and she said, "We're not going to accept any of your transcripts. You will have to make up 58 credits. And I said to myself, "Lord, how am I going to do that? It'll take me 2 or 3 years, etc., etc." So I broke some rules, went to 2 different schools, daytime, evenings, nighttime, had a few tutors, and managed to pull all 58 credits in 1 year and got myself into medical school. So I tell you that story only because it is a form of focus. If you can establish realistic goals, you can achieve them, and you need to be focused to do that. Life is full of energy. Now, that's what you have to maintain every day. The second thing that the school introduced me to is a form of attitude. You have to have an attitude about yourself. You have to have an attitude about your friends, your family, all the relationships that you will encounter in life. I can recall when I was a youngster, we lived down on West King and Water Street, and we had some difficult times. When you're born into those situations, you can have a negative attitude about yourself and everybody around you. And if you take that attitude, you accomplish nothing, and you end up being a negative force in life. No energy, nothing gets accomplished, you go nowhere. So you take those kinds of things, you adopt a more positive attitude, and you move ahead. You have to have a disciplined attitude in life or you get nowhere. I wish to thank everyone for adding me to this distinguished panel of recipients for this award. It's been a privilege for me not only to have been a graduate of this school, but to be a member of Lancaster and this community. And I hope that in the future I will continue to produce in a positive way.
Thank you, Jim. Finally, we get to the man down there on the far right. Yeah, hi, buddy. Leon Buddy Glover. Buddy has been away from the school district of Lancaster since his graduation from McCaskey, or had been away from the school district of Lancaster since his graduation from McCaskey, class of 1967, only long enough to earn a degree from Gettysburg College in 1971. He returned that year as a Neighborhood Education Services Center director for 1 year and then served as its program director until 1974. And from 1974 to 78, Buddy served as head teacher at the Alternative Learning Center and returned to McCaskey in 1978 as an administrative assistant 11 years after graduating. Buddy's list of community service is long, and those who know Buddy know we could write a book about this man. He has done so much for this community, so much for his school, and so much for not only McCaskey, but Everett Hand as well, Buddy. Buddy was appointed one of the first house principals at McCaskey, a position he held until 1987 when he was appointed principal of Edward Hand Junior High School. Also, his alma mater. And he was the first African-American principal in Lancaster County. It is with pleasure that I present the man I call my friend, Leon Buddy Glover.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me say that I am indeed honored to be recognized with my 4 colleagues as a distinguished alumnus. I am not sure what criteria is used to determine a distinguished alumni, but it is flattering to be selected from the thousands of McCaskey graduates. When you hear someone else say all those nice things about you, you really do feel special. I've always felt that I was a regular guy with a nice smile who tried to help others. I have not looked for recognition for the things that I have done. I am proud of the School District of Lancaster and McCaskey's past, present, and future, and that's all of you. My father graduated from McCaskey in 1942. My sisters in 1965 and 71. My brother in 68, and I've helped to raise 9 children who have all graduated from McCaskey High School. This past Christmas, we made my mother an honorary graduate because she's a 1942 graduate of York High. In fact, the 1995-96 school year has been the first year in 23 years that I have not had a child in the School District of Lancaster, and it certainly is a different feeling. The inception of the Distinguished Alumni Award offers all of us the opportunity to connect the past, present, and future. McCaskey has given all of us a common foundation and starting point. When I stood on this stage in 1967 as part of my graduating class, I did not dream I would one day stand on this same stage as McCaskey's principal of record as I did in 1993, or that I would be here today addressing you as the assistant to the superintendent and as an inductee into the second class of distinguished alumni. I am proud of my accomplishments. I am prouder that I have had the opportunity to work with thousands of students, staff, and members of the Lancaster community. If I have touched any of you in a positive way or given you hope, that makes me feel good. A couple weeks ago, I was on the bus, and I go between bus and walking these days, coming across town, and there were only 3 of us on this particular bus. And a young lady said to me, "I have to tell you this. I was contacted for my 10th class reunion." She could not believe it. She was in the class of 1986. I was the house principal for that class. I told her I would have my 30th reunion next year in 1997. Then the bus driver said he was in the class of 1965. We began to talk about our McCaskey days. We had something to share. You never know where you will reunite with a McCaskey graduate. All of you may have different experiences during your times at McCaskey, but there will be common experiences that all of you will share and remember. When I was principal at Edward Hand, we used to talk about 4 words that I would like to share with you. The 4 words are tradition, pride, respect, and education. These words summarize McCaskey. By attending and graduating from McCaskey High School, you will always be part of a special family with a long and outstanding tradition. The McCaskey family has many people who have made accomplishments on the local, state, national, and international level. Some of these people are your mothers and fathers, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and your uncles. They are doctors, lawyers, teachers, entertainers, athletes, politicians, laborers, firefighters, and just good citizens. The McCaskey class of 1967 is well represented in the school district of Lancaster and McCaskey. There are at least 15 of us, to name a few: Mr. Bob Brown, Mr. Papa Boots, Mr. Pat Hazatonis, Coach Jack Neal, Coach Jim Kugler, board member Ms. Gensler, your 9-10 associate principal, Mr. Ken Porter, Hamilton Elementary principal Gloria Campbell, and the list goes on and on. I would like to accept this award for all of them and the education we received at McCaskey. My challenge to you is to make your mark. Do things that will make you proud, your family proud, and your McCaskey family proud. Once more, thank you to everyone who was involved in making this a special program.
Thank you, buddy. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished McCaskey alumni, class of 1996. Before I call Carl Pike up here for some closing remarks, I just want to say thank you for being such a gracious audience this morning, and to pick up on what Barbara said about dreams, just remember, where there are no dreamers, there is no hope. You make me proud to be a member of the McCaskey family, and one day soon you will say, I graduated from McCaskey, and don't you forget it. Thank you.
The lives of these 5 outstanding alumni remind me of the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. We've had enough lessons for the English department this morning. What Emerson said was that the things taught in schools and colleges are not an education, but a means to an education. All of these people have used the skills that they learned at McCaskey to become better educated, to become active in their community, and to contribute to the success of today's students. All of you today at McCaskey have benefited for their dedication to our Lancaster community. If you've ever wondered what that phrase that we all use, lifelong learners, means, look no further. These people on stage to my right are lifelong learners. Judge Appel, Mr. Polite, Mrs. Valavanes, Dr. Argires, and Mr. Glover, thank you for all you have done for McCaskey and for Lancaster. To conclude, I wish to thank the officers of the Alumni Association, the Awards Committee, Mrs. Garafola, and everyone else at McCaskey who has helped make this morning possible. Thank you, and that concludes our ceremony.
Being a McCaskey student is truly a special feeling, and it's truly an opportunity that each and every one of our students should not let go by. I hope that during this very short period of time that you have heard words that will help you reach the levels that you have set for yourself and that you can make your dreams come true. Staff members are now dismissed, and I also want to let all of our student body know that our distinguished members have been invited to visit with classrooms, so you may wind up having an opportunity of meeting them one-on-one. Thank you.